Hey guys, welcome to the Dropped Out Podcast. This is your host, Berto. And today, guys, I have two guests here. Our first guest being Ellie. Say hi.
Hey.
And then our second guest,
My name is Jeff Luna.
His name's Jeff. I'm sorry.
why are you laughing?
No reason.
From that meme?
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
So let's get into it, guys. We're going to get into a subject that's pretty much everywhere. It's almost impossible for you to escape. And that topic's going to be about the COVID 19, or formerly known as coronavirus.
No, actually, they're two different things.
Really?
COVID-19 is different from coronavirus.
Oh, explain, Jeff.
It is. I don't know details, but I know it's different.
Okay, so first thing we're gonna get into just kind of the impact it's had on your everyday life. We went from being in pretty much a state where we had to go to work. Sometimes some of us had to go to school, and vice versa, do
Right.
both. And now everything kind of just came to a stall. So, Ellie, do you want to share your perspective on that?
Well, I just feel like what people are saying about how we might become the next Italy is going to be true just because of every day the amount of cases that have been growing and the lack of seriousness people are handling things.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it's impacted everybody's life.
How has it impacted your life directly?
Me personally, well, like school's canceled.
Okay.
And now I'm really stressed because I don't know if I'm going to pass my statistics class because I didn't sign up for online for a reason.
Okay.
So there's that. That
But I
might
thought the
delay.
schools, I thought they went online now.
Right. So they went online, but like for math, it's really hard to teach yourself statistics. So like I don't know if I'm
No,
gonna pass my
like
class.
the teachers are doing like online classes.
Not necessarily. Like my teacher, she just posts pictures of lectures, but there's no videos or anything that teaches you. Like you're just filling in.
So then
blanks.
class is not canceled or canceled?
It's not canceled, but it's gonna affect. I think by the time I graduate, I might have to repay for this class because like I pay out of pocket for it, and then work. Like I haven't been working. Like, I was taken off the schedule. No, I don't. I haven't. Been,
Dang, like for good or?
no, they just said like we don't have any hours to give, and they never. They don't have any answers yet, is what they keep saying. So we're all just sitting around waiting.
Or at least that's what they're telling you.
They just send us a link to how to apply for
Unemployment.
That's it.
And I feel like unemployment's definitely going to be one of those things that a lot of companies are going to be pushing towards individuals and civilians.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are kind of being like, hey, you don't have to do it right this minute, but we definitely are going to pretty much kind of recommend you and
Right.
kind of push you towards that.
And I feel like a lot of people are saying, like, the people that I work with, they're saying, like, it's so bad. Because everyone's doing it at the same time.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're going to be backed up. And here's the thing, that's one of the processes, like when it comes to like unemployment and disability and everything, like it's one of those things that can take a long time. I've had people that I personally know that have filed for it, and you're talking weeks, if not
Right.
months, before you can even get a paycheck.
Right.
Now, Jeff, how has it affected your life, like on an everyday type of thing?
I mean, it's been difficult in a sense. Like you can't, obviously in the housing industry, you can't like actively go meet people. You can't meet inspectors, contractors, etc. Of that nature. Anything that has to do with meeting people, you have to avoid. So closing deals is tougher, but they do have, DocuSign, so you can sign documents to your clients, or video tours, virtual tours that we're doing for our clients, and I mean, that's pretty much it. But the banks haven't stopped funding; they're still funding loans right now.
So in other words, you're pretty much finding a way around it, right? Kind of overcoming, if you will.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. It's set. I mean, obviously, you can't really close it. Like if you get a new client, I mean, it's
Mhm.
very hard to convert someone that's like, what I'm saying, just all on video.
I'm sure, especially because people are going to be a lot more worried about their finances and whatnot. A lot of people actually have been mentioning and commenting that it's kind of similar to like a '08 recession in a sense, where pretty much everything was just in havoc, and in a sense of
The only thing is that in '08 the banks stopped lending.
yeah. Well, right now the banks are still up and going, which is
They're
good.
still going.
And of course, United States, I think they were proposing a bailout for banks and also airlines. So
Mhm.
because of how impacted it's been. Now, talking about airlines, getting into another topic here about the coronavirus, We're talking as far as comparison wise versus China and us right now. I believe China reported a couple days ago that they no longer have any new cases, and for the most part, they've already contained COVID 19. And
Well, their
versus.
numbers have definitely declined.
Hmm.
But I don't know if you read, a lot of people that have already gotten it, it compromises your immune system so much that you're more likely to get it again, reinfected.
Okay, that was one of those things that I was always kind of concerned on, and I was always kind of like, is that something that you can get potentially again once you get it, or is it one of those things where that's it, once you get it, it's done, like you know?
I'm not exactly sure, but I think you can get reinfected.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. I mean I'm not too sure all the particulars on it, but obviously they're just saying everyone to stay clean.
Yeah.
Wash your
Wash their
hands.
Now,
hands.
now one thing I did notice, China definitely took it a lot more serious, I would say, than we are.
Right.
I know for a fact, like the fact that they have no newer cases, or in the sense they've somewhat
Right.
contaminated it more than we have. I think it's just one of those things that's like, us as Americans, or the quote unquote American way. Speaking from my perspective, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's just not carrying as much. Still kind of go out, get in your car, and maybe go down and get a cup of
Right.
coffee or something, or get something to eat. So versus being, in a sense, encouraged to be quarantined, to be inside. So.
Right. I definitely think like it's
Yeah.
almost embedded in us as Americans to kind of question authority and sometimes even go against it. I mean, I hate to generalize, but I do think that's a thing, and I think that we have a very like, not everyone, but a lot of people have kind of a selfish mentality as like, I'm young, like I know a lot of people that went to Florida and stuff like that. They're like, oh, we're young, like if we get it, it's fine. But they don't think like, oh, if we go back and we give it to the elderly, then like,
Yeah.
Whereas I think in Chinese culture, it's more like they're more of a community.
They're more.
They respect more authority if you really think about it. So when they were told like, don't go out, stay inside, they all did it, and they all thought about not just themselves but those elderly people, people with compromised immune systems, all of that. Whereas Americans, we
And
don't always think about stuff like that.
I think that's a great point. I think you're definitely onto a point that I was going to make, actually, about how us as younger generation, and I'm talking about people in their teens and also people in their 20s, of not taking it as seriously as we should, because we feel like this virus, in a sense, it doesn't apply to us, because even though we can get it and we don't show any symptoms, we also don't consider other people, like you said, elderly people and stuff, getting infected by it. But I've also been hearing that there's more cases of people that are in their early 20s and even 18, 19, that have been passing from it, that have no known illnesses or weak immune systems. And that's another thing you have to consider too. It's not like you're going to the doctor every month to get checked up. What's not to say that within a time period of 6 months, if not to a year, that you last went to the doctor, got a physical and a checkup, like you maybe caught something else and now is potentially causing your immune system or making you weaker. And now you get this thinking, hey, I'm going to be fine, and maybe you're not.
Also, though, too, there's some extent, like, if they, like the media, when they blow things out of proportion just because it's like a new disease. I mean, I wonder what the real stats are, like, oh, how many people died from like cancer today, or how many people died from like just a normal flu, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just because they say that, oh, it's, from this disease, like, it is still crazy, and I think people should take it more serious. But also, I think just because it's like the latest and greatest too, it's kind of blown out of proportion to some certain extent as well.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
no,
You know,
definitely. There's one other point I wanted to get into this, because I don't want to bore the people listening, or in a sense consume this entire episode just with coronavirus. But the last thing I wanted to touch on was government kind of passing, in a sense, a type of requirement saying, hey, whatever jobs or careers or establishments we believe that are um, essential will still remain open. And there are a lot of places that are still open that, in my opinion, might not be very essential. One of those being, hair salons,
Right.
nail places, maybe like entertainment places. I know they shut down a lot of clubs and things
Right.
like that.
Bars, movie theaters.
Exactly, bars, movie theaters also have been closed and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But it gets to a point where I'm like, dry cleaners, like, is that really an importance right now, that you need to have your clothes picked up at the dry cleaner and steamed?
Mm-hmm.
I can understand laundromats, because we do live in SoCal, and there's a lot of people here who maybe don't have access to their own
Right.
dryer and washer. So yeah, that's totally fine. Hey, go get your clothes washed and everything. But other establishments like that, it's kind of like, is that really a priority? Is that what
Mhm.
you really consider an essential? Versus, I would rather have food establishments open, places that sell like water and things like that, like, in a sense, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and then also there's a lot of businesses that are closing, that are just closing like like especially restaurants. I think there's like a restaurant in Long Beach that just closed, like for good, like they're just gonna shut it down.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's impacted them a lot
Because
too.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that were on the edge, right? Like if something like this were to happen,
Oh
they
yeah,
were just paycheck to paycheck and, you know,
Mhm.
barely covering their rent, and this is taking them over the top.
and it's not just restaurants, it's also like regular United States civilians. Majority of people live paycheck to paycheck. They struggle
Right.
to have even $1,000 in their bank account at one point, and so this has impacted them significantly, along with the restaurants. I believe a majority of places now, I've noticed, I've been seeing a lot of banners and signs saying that they're only doing takeout only.
Right.
So it'll say like still open for takeout only, you know?
Mhm.
So obviously they've been hurt and impacted in that sense. All right, guys. So the next topic we're actually going to talk about is some social media, specifically this what I consider to be somewhat of a newer trend.
One that you hate.
One clarifying, yes, one that I do genuinely hate, and I hope I never get on that bandwagon, or I hope I never get
Wait, let me
onto
ask
the
you
trend.
something really quick.
Go
Did
for
you
it.
like the Vine phase?
I was never crazy about the Vine phase.
But you like the Vine phase?
There was a point where I was like watching a couple of them
Right.
and stuff, but it was like you said, it wasn't one of those things where I was like in love with it or I liked it. I don't even think I had it. I think some of those videos were once sent to me that I was watching. So, but I mean, it's pretty similar to Vine. But that subject we're talking about is TikTok. So,
Right.
and you, Ellie, love TikTok.
I love TikTok.
How
Especially with this quarantine. That's all I've been doing is watching TikTok.
spending hours and hours
Yeah.
and hours just watching.
To be specific, I got an alert from TikTok that was like, slow down.
Did it
I didn't know
really?
they send those, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
They said like stop watching.
No, it just said like slow down and I couldn't like follow the person that had posted it.
So I guess you were just kind of
Because
going
I was like going through them like all night, till, like
pretty
4 in the
quick and
morning.
everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, see, Jeff, you brought this up. This is like in a sense the next thing, because if you really think about it, I mean, we were all around for MySpace.
I never even had MySpace. I'll be honest.
You never had a
I
MySpace?
never had MySpace.
Oh,
No, we
What?
I believe I
I
had
went
a,
through my MySpace phase.
I didn't have
it was definitely a short MySpace, period that I
was on
personally
Facebook
went to.
when Facebook came out.
But then eventually Facebook came and replaced MySpace. I don't think there's
And
any
now-
like as Facebook has gotten used for people to communicate internationally, whether it's like if you
Or
have
WhatsApp.
people exactly like if you live here and you have people that live out in a different continent and things like that, then you
Mhm.
can communicate with them via Facebook.
Right.
But for the longest, Facebook was just ruling everything in entertainment, and then eventually came Instagram. So.
Which Facebook bought.
Exactly. I use Instagram every day. I wake up in the morning stuff. I look through my calls and my texts,
That's
and
like your daily routine.
oh yeah, it's part of my daily routine is to start
Okay.
looking at some Instagram and stuff, and also
Like the minute like you open your eyes or what?
no, I mean I look at the time to see what time it is first, see, and
Looking
then
at your Rolex.
and then no, and then I look at the see if I have any calls, emails, and then I'll get into like social media stuff, whether it's Instagram, Snapchat. Snapchat's another one I use personally more.
Right.
Do you guys have any comments in regards to TikTok? Ellie loves TikTok, but you
No,
Jeff?
I mean, when these apps come, there's windows of opportunity. Like if you post a post on Instagram right now, it's tough to like get like attention, like to get views on your videos, to get likes, because the market's flooded on Instagram. Like it's absolutely flooded.
Right.
And like TikTok being new, people post and a lot more people see it because it's new and they don't have that many users just like as Instagram does. But there'll come a time where like TikTok will get a lot of users and that organic reach will go down, and you can't get followers and you can't get as many views as you could right now. Who knows how long it's gonna last with TikTok, but like there's people that are blowing up out of nowhere, like to get a ton of views. And I think it's cool because you can use TikTok, like if you're already like an influencer or a blogger, you can divert people from your TikTok to Instagram,
Right.
to your YouTube channel.
Mhm.
Like if they like your shit or they like your videos, oh my god, let me go follow his YouTube, let me go
Mhm.
follow. So these big time, a lot of famous people are using it, celebrities, bloggers, and that's what they do. They use the TikTok platform to drive people to their other forms, to get followers from them. Like I know several girls that post like dancing videos, and these same girls that had like 900 followers, now they got 16,000, 25,000 in like a few months because they post on TikTok.
That's definitely one of those things that comes with social media is the capability and the power that you genuinely get from it. If you can get to a point where you have an audience, whether it's, some people, some influencers have, you know, audiences that are younger, they're in their teens, and other ones have some that are older, but you get to a point where now you're a public figure and you have a certain responsibilities that you need to uphold. And anytime you make a mistake or something, they're right there. Society's there to kind of correct it or fix it. So in a sense,
Mhm.
but do you think, do either one of you guys think that TikTok will ever get bigger than Instagram
I
or?
do, only because I feel that it's so diverse and it's more about algorithms than anything else. Like, you use the hashtag like for you page, FYP, like all those things, and that, like, I get a lot of people that have already thousands of likes, but at the same time, as I'm scrolling, like, I'll have some that have no likes at all, but they're recommended for me because of the algorithms, and that gives them a chance to blow up, you know. And I feel like a lot of people are gonna hop on because they know that they're like, oh, you know what, like, I don't already have to be that influencer to blow up. I just have to talk about something interesting, or I have to something that people
Or
are gonna
do
like.
something interesting,
Right, like
dance or whatever.
it's so diverse. There's like stocks, cooking, funny videos, dancing videos, like
Yeah,
arts.
this is like the window of opportunity right now. That
Yeah.
hasn't been like Instagram. It's gone. Like the only way to get attention on Instagram right now is like influencer marketing or paid marketing.
Mhm.
Like to get like pretty big, you know.
Right.
TikTok is like, and honestly, I think Vine had a chance to be bigger than Instagram back when Vine was killing it.
I don't know why they died
Vine
down.
was, well, because the guy that created it, like, I think he committed suicide or something.
Oh really?
Yeah, the guy created
Because I
it.
feel like now that I'm looking back, I just remember it from one day to not being a thing anymore.
Yeah, Vine was huge, huge. And then
Right.
TikTok, I forgot what TikTok used to be called something else. Then they were bought out.
Oh, I think I remember this. I think they were called Musically or something like that.
Yeah, then they were bought out and they switched to TikTok.
To TikTok, yeah.
Mhm.
Because I know for the longest, a lot of places were like, especially I think it was Korea that was having problems with TikTok and using like applications like that and stuff, and were trying to ban them and everything.
Okay.
And people were getting arrested for it, and they were serving jail time for it. But then the last thing I wanted to get to, guys, was just in regards to sports. Jeff, I know you're a big baseball fan and everything.
It's unfortunate, that the baseball season was supposed to start in like tomorrow, a few days. So I mean, the fact that it's not, I mean, kind of throw things, but you understand why. I mean, avoid human contact right now with like masses of people. So they just gotta do what they gotta do, to protect their interests too. Because if they were to do it and like override what's going on, I mean, it's grounds for huge lawsuits.
I believe they were mentioning potentially having some games out in even Mexico right now. Mexico is reporting very low numbers of coronavirus people that have been infected, but they were planning on getting these stadiums and just kind of having them empty. Just the sports and just the play, just the players and the people essential to be able to broadcast those games.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who knows what they're gonna end up doing? Because who knows how long it's gonna last too. I mean, it could last, like we were just talking, like months, weeks.
Yeah.
Who knows? Some even people, people say over a year or so. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah, I personally really hope it doesn't because, like you said, I would really like to
a
get
lot
back.
of people hope it does.
Oh yeah, no, of course. It's one of those things that's impacted, not just us here sitting here, but the people listening to us too. And hopefully everybody out there is staying safe and everything. And at the end of the day, it really just comes down to um, kind of just thinking about other people too, and just putting in a sense other people in a sense like a priority. You don't want to get to a point where you have people fighting over toilet paper and stuff, because I personally don't think toilet paper is that essential. It's one of those things you can find other ways around it. It's not going to be end all, if you will. You got elderly people who I think should personally get priority, over us younger people.
Well, that's why they have these markets.
Earlier
that
hours.
They barely
haven't
started
even-
doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
recently. So, and you definitely see videos all over social media and stuff of people.
But those are the people that can make it, like, to the grocery store. There are also elderly people that can't drive anymore and stuff like that. Like, where I work, I'm surprised, like, I work in a senior home, and, like, they're not doing anything to help them out. You know, there's people that can't leave that place, and it's like, if you don't have family, then figure it out, you know? Which
Yeah.
is really sad.
Yeah, it definitely is. Well, do you guys have any final thoughts or anything?
No, I mean, obviously the big one is the virus. You know, we hope that everything goes well and that they find the cure for it or that contain the virus. I mean, it's terrible that a lot of people are out of work right now. A lot of people are losing jobs.
Yeah.
You know, I know that work may stop, but your bills don't stop.
Oh,
So,
100%.
Right.
I mean, I know they're trying to make deals with the banks right now with the mortgages and all that, but like I said, I just hope that it comes to a quick halt
Right.
for a lot of people and businesses.
Yeah.
Because this could be the end for even we might see big companies take balls.
Right.
You know, so who knows we have family all over the place and that this comes to an end soon.
I think it'll be quicker too if we all just take the right precautions that they're telling us to, like self quarantine, just really respect those rules, follow them.
Yeah,
The
because
faster,
it
like,
can't spread if you're not in
you're
contact
not,
with people,
yeah. I
different
definitely
people.
think
Right?
that would speed up the process, and we just have to think about it that way. Like, we rather do this now, even though I know everyone's bored and it sucks and all these things, than have to do this for many, many months because some people aren't listening or following.
Yeah, no, definitely. And hopefully, as time goes by and days continue on this quarantine and everything, that people are able to take it seriously and everything. But other than that, I just want to say thank you to everybody listening, guys. I have been your host, Berto, and my two guests, Ellie and Jeff. And just wanted to say thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down in the description or reach out to us directly.
If you made it this far, give us a follow.
Yeah, there you go. If you made
Make
it
sure
this
you
far.
subscribe.
And subscribe, yeah, definitely. And then we are planning on for next week having different guests and different topics as we'll go through it.
And if there's anything you guys want us to talk about,
Thank you guys so much. This has been the Dropped Out Podcast.